All right. I'm going to move back here so you can actually see my chair. Okay. So let's just go ahead and open the practice today by settling into our chair. Let's close our eyes and turn our attention to the inner landscape of the body, mind, and spirit. Just feel the flats of the feet grounding into the earth. Feel the lengthening of the spine up through the back neck as we sit up nice and tall. And then as you scan the body with the attention of the witness, simply notice any place there might be a tad of tension, any emotion that might be harbored somewhere. Taking note. Just let the attention drop out of that headspace and take refuge in the heart. Allowing that energy to expand outward with a loving compassion. And if you have an intention for today's class, now's the time to call it into that heart space. And with a deep, long exhale, release that intention out into the world. Softening the jaw, softening the eyes. Notice the way the breath lengthens. Then little by little, move the bodies onto the front part of the chair so that you have a little more space, placing the palms on the tops of the knees. Let's go ahead and warm up our supple spines, our youthful spines. We're going to inhale, pushing through that sternum. And exhale, create a C concave with the body there, really feeling that contraction as you create this scoop between the pelvis and the sternum, rocking the pelvic floor backwards as you reach through that sternum. Feel as if there's this thread that kind of pushes and pulls the body, and find a rhythm to the movement as you exhale on the contraction and inhale, opening the heart. Do this at your own speed, really feeling the way the spine awakens. Careful that we don't let the heads droop here. Keep that head right on top of the spine. Notice the rocking here. The way that the body moves is kind of a pushing forward and then a rocking backward. It's like a seated cat-cow. 2 more full cycles here. And then inhaling back to center, sitting up nice and tall. This can be a core exercise here, squeezing that belly button back towards the spine. We're going to do something kind of similar, but we're doing it in a circle now. This is waking up all those inner organs, loosening up the hips and that lower back where the hips tie into the lumbar. We're drawing circles with the spine as we inhale forward and exhale backward. You can have the knees as open as you wish here. The wider the stance of the knees, the more you're going to feel that in the hip flexor. And on that next exhale, go ahead and reverse those circles, reaching the sternum forward, exhaling backward, drawing big circles with the spine. Keeping the sits bones firmly glued to the chair. One more big circle, make it count. And then come back to center, sitting up nice and tall. Let's use those hands to push those shoulders up by our ears. Inhaling the shoulders as high up as we can get them and exhale through the mouth, let those shoulders come down. You can do this 2 ways. You can either do it with the palms like this, or you can try it with the palms on the back side. Just try both. I encourage you to try both and see what feels good for you, because everybody's body is different and what you need may not be what everybody else needs. Inhaling those shoulders up. Try it both ways. See which one gives you. Notice the difference in the lengthening that happens, the sensations that change just because of the palms being up or down. One more time. Okay, shake out those arms. We're gonna use our chair right now to hold onto the side of the chair and then pull away from that arm. So we're lengthening all of this canal that runs through the forearm and shoulder right here into the clavicle. Let the body fall away from it. Play with the head here. If you gaze down at the hands, you're going to get a different sensation in the back of the shoulder blade. Maybe look forward, notice the difference. My body's definitely telling me to gaze at my hand, releasing that tension there in the front of the arm that then releases the back shoulder blade. And coming back up to center, roll those shoulders. One more time. Rest in the center, sitting up nice and straight. Let's do the other side. Grab onto that chair and let the weight of the body fall to one side, away from that arm, keeping the chest nice and open. Letting the other arm dangle down by your side, and check in with the head. Notice the difference. If you gaze down at the palm there, I can feel it all through my shoulder here. Holy mackerel. Let each exhale be a release. And go ahead and inhale, come back to center. Let's take those hands and warm them up just a little bit. Get that blood circulating in the hands and the carpal tunnel. This can be a core exercise as well. Sitting up nice and tall, squeeze that belly button so that it's reaching for the spine. Whenever you feel that warmth starting to emerge there in your hands, go ahead and place those hands over the eyes. Feel the warmth. Take a deep breath. Dropping the hands into heart or prayer. We're going to clasp the fingers and then stretch the hands away from the body. Sitting up nice and tall, squeezing that belly button to the spine. Inhale those hands up as high as you can take them without raising the shoulders. So push those shoulders down on your spine. Very good. Nice self-adjustment, everyone. And come back down. Shake out those hands. We're going to scoot the body onto the side of the chair now. And we're going to bring the hands behind the back. We're going to look to clasp those palms together, and we are just going to attempt to straighten the elbows, reaching the hands back down behind us. I'm not lifting up like this, nor am I leaning backwards. It's a very subtle movement of simply trying to straighten those elbows and reach the hands towards the earth. You should feel the way that rolls the shoulders back onto the spine, opening up the region of the clavicle. Just take a long breath here as it opens and lengthens the front body. This too can be a core exercise. Take a deep breath, and on that exhale, squeeze that belly button back towards the spine, lengthening up through the back neck. And release the hands. Shake it out. Shake the hands. Get that blood circulating all through that new lengthening. Okay, very nice. Let's come back onto the front here. We've got a lot of this upper body warmed up now, but we haven't done much with the lower body. So let's allow the lower body to start to warm up here. Let's just drop the knees down one by one, allowing those hips to kind of call for the lubrication of movement. Just circling the hips here. And then before we go in, let's come back to center. And I just want us to do this little movement where we kind of raise one hip at a time off the chair, okay? So you can use your feet to do that, help you do that. But the most important thing is that you're really isolating that hip. You're lifting one glute and one hip at a time, shifting the weight from one side to the other, making sure we're nice and warm. And then come back to the center. Let's drop that right knee down onto the ground. You can roll onto the top of the foot if that feels good for you. I'm going to have to take my socks and shoes off now that it's not quite as cold as it was 15 minutes ago. All right, so you have a couple options here. If this feels good, you can be on the ball of the foot. You can also roll over onto the top of the foot. Find what feels good. It should not hurt. Holding on to the back of the chair there. Sit up nice and tall. And then reach that knee towards the earth. You should really feel this oppositional pull from the crown of the head, this reaching of the crown of the head towards the ceiling and the knee towards the floor. And then as you settle into that, you can add an extra layer if you wish, scooting that leg back just a centimeter. Inhaling the arm up by the ear. And settle into it. Let each exhale be a release. You should really feel it here in that front of the thigh and that hip here. You can go ahead and exhale, leaning away from the legs slightly. And back to center. Dropping the arm now. Let's go ahead and inhale that knee back to greet the other one. Run them out. That felt good. Let's do the other side. Okay, so swiveling the legs over now, we're gonna drop, in my case, the left leg. Reaching that knee down towards the earth, allowing the chair to be my support, holding on to the back of the chair, really finding that oppositional lengthening from the tip of the knee to the top of the head. And as you find that comfort and stability, allow the breath to push those limits ever so slightly. So you're not pushing yourself. It's just a relaxing into the limits, and the limits naturally push themselves. So extending the leg ever so slightly backward. You can add another layer by inhaling the hand up. Sitting up nice and tall. Squeezing the belly button back towards the spine. Letting each exhale be a lengthening, a release. Inhaling up to the ceiling, exhale, let that arm reach away from you ever so slightly. Reaching away from the extended leg. And then coming back to center, dropping the arm. Inhale, let's bring that leg back in. Very nice, very nice. Let's come back to center. Okay. We're gonna do a side stretch now. We've got those hips nice and opened up. So what we're gonna do is just take that left elbow and rest it on your knee, okay? Keeping those hips firmly placed on the chair, we're gonna kind of lean over on our haunches, okay? And then reach that arm across, up and across. And if this is too easy for you, you can also drop that hand down the front of the leg. Notice the difference. You can use it to help you support here or reach for the earth on the front of the leg. Keeping the hips on the chair. Notice I don't want to lift up like that. I really want to stay firmly planted on the chair. So if I am lifting up, I'm probably going past my limit. Really feel the way it opens up those rib cages, that rib cage, those ribs. And dropping the arm, coming back to center. Woo. Let's walk those shoulders a little. And get ready for the other side. So again, taking that elbow and reaching it for the knee, firmly placing the sits bones on the chair. Reach that hand towards the sky, gaze up at the hand. If you don't feel the lengthening, go ahead and reach the arm slightly over the body. Being sure to keep that chest nice and open. If you're like this, you might be going too far. So slide the shoulder, roll it back onto the spine, and really reach up towards the ceiling, keeping the chest nice and open. And dropping the arm, using the hand to push the body back up to center. Let's run those legs. Probably got a nice lengthening there in the inner thigh. Okay. You're getting warmed up. I can see people taking their layers off. All right. Let's go ahead and before we come to, yes, let's come to standing. So exhaling all the air, keeping the feet under the knees, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to exhale, and on an inhale, come to standing, push the floor away from the body, and then let's walk around the back of the chair. Okay, and we're going to first find the weight equally distributed on the feet. Okay, so simply noticing where each toe is on the earth. Let's flex the knees ever so slightly and then push the ground away from the body so we know we have active legs. Really squeezing that belly button back towards the spine. Let's notice the difference as we shift our weight onto one leg or the other. And then shifting onto the standing leg, which is the one closest to the chair, we're going to put this foot, the right foot in my case, out in front. And we're going to try to write our name with our big toe. The chair is there for your support if you need to hold on to it. Just be careful you're not doing this, okay? Push that hip up, push the floor away from the body, and let's write our names. In cursive. And when you're done, come down, just bring the foot there, and then shake out that standing leg. Okay, did everybody write their first names and last names? Okay. Let's go ahead and try the other side. So I'm going to move my chair onto the other side for stability. Again, checking in with those feet to make sure we have active legs. Let's flex the knees ever so slightly. Push through the heels like we're pushing the floor away from the body. You should feel active legs there. Let's shift the weight onto the standing leg, which is the one closest to the chair. Point that foot out in front of you and write your name in cursive. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and come down to standing again and shake out both legs. Okay, make that stance just a little bit wider now. And we're going to do some hip rolls. So just really shifting the weight from leg to leg. Really feel the way you put all the weight into those joints of the hips, rolling from one side to the other, feeling the tension. I don't know about you guys, but my goodness, my hips are tight. And let's reverse it. And then come back to center. Let's get a nice side stretch in here. So here we are, feet are at a wide stance, toes are facing forward. I'm gonna take the foot that's closest to my chair and I'm gonna turn it towards the chair. So those toes are really going in towards the chair. One is facing forward and one is going over. And then I'm just going to reach my arm away from the body and let the body fall over the chair. So you should feel it all in the side body. You should also feel it in the hip. And you can really hang on the chair there, you know, make sure that you don't put too much weight on it so that the chair falls on you, but the chair is there to help you as a support. And you can play with the head here. Look down at the chair, look up at the palm, find what feels good. And then go ahead and bring the hand back up. We're gonna do something similar, but now we're gonna flex that front leg. Flex the front leg here. And then notice the difference when we're lengthening and opening that hip flexor, creating a long line from the tip of the toe to the tip of the fingers. You all look really great. And then straighten that front leg and bring the arm back down. Let's close the toes so that they're both facing forward now and scissor the feet back together. Very good. Before we go on to the other side, we're going to do one more with the chair on this side. So turn and face the chair. Standing up nice and tall. Again, flex those knees so you can push the floor away from you. Active legs. I want you to take a step back with your left leg. You're creating a triangle here. It doesn't have to be a big triangle. It could be very small. Really reach that heel into the ground. Make sure that both hips are facing the chair. Okay? And then just flex that front leg, keeping the heel on the ground in the back. Really notice the way it lengthens through that Achilles tendon, through the calf muscle and into the knee. We're keeping healthy knees here. And push the ground away from you. And last time. Flex that front leg, make sure the knee is right in line with your heel. Nice and straight. And come back to standing. Okay, very good. We're going to change the side of the chair now. Moving it back over here. We have a wide stance. Feet are facing forward. Okay, I'm going to take the leg that's closest to the chair and face the feet underneath the chair. Okay, straight legs at first. We're going to use the chair for support, just leaning over, lengthening through that side body. Chest is forward. If your chest is rolling forward like this, you might be a little bit too far. So really try to keep that chest open, open hearts. And whenever you're ready, bring the arm down, come back. We're going to flex that front leg now, making sure that the knee is right in line with the heel. And again, take that same movement here. Breathing into it. You should feel that opening of the hip here, that inner thigh. And go ahead and straighten the front leg. Bring those feet back to facing forward and scissor them in. And let's face the chair now. Lengthen through the back of that leg. Find stability in the posture in mountain pose, and when you found it, step the right leg back this time. Doesn't have to be a big triangle, it does have to face the chair. Hips are facing forward, heels are both firmly pushing into the earth. You can come here to prayer pose if you'd like, or you can hold on to the chair, okay? And then we're gonna flex that front leg without letting the back leg come up off the ground. You should feel it in the back of the knee, in the calf muscle, and straighten the front leg. And flex it. And straighten. Very nice. Come back to center. Both feet are facing forward now. And we're gonna bring them in. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of balance before we go back to sitting down. So we can do the tightrope 1 or the tree pose 2. Let me see your numbers. Or we can do both, then you put 3. Okay, everybody wants to do both. All right, working on balance today. Let's try our tightrope. Okay. Right foot is right in line with the left foot. My right heel is lined up with my left big toe. And in order to gain that balance, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to flex those knees. Flex the knees just enough to push the earth away from you. Okay? The earth is being pushed away from you. Both toes, all of the toes and the heels are pushing into the ground. Legs are really active. Find your stability in this posture. Bring the hands to prayer once you've got it. If you need to hold on to the chair, that's okay. You can have one hand on the chair and one close to your heart. If you start to lose balance, just flex those knees a little bit and push the earth away from you again. And 5, 4, 3, 3, 3. I'm just kidding. 2, 1. All right. Loosen up those legs and shake them out. Sometimes we just have to giggle. All right. I'm going to change my chair. Before we change our chair, let's go into straight from this side rope to tree pose. So bringing the feet back to center, mountain pose. Make sure you have about fist widths apart between the feet. That they're right underneath the hips. Feel that lifting up of the core here. Squeezing the belly button back towards the spine. Notice the difference as you shift the weight from side to side. And when you're ready, bring that foot in. Rest it at your arch and then check in with the hip. Make sure it's not jutting out. Push it up. And whenever you're ready, raise that foot and rest it there on your calf. You can do it higher if you want, but never on the knee, okay? Just on the calf there is perfect. Find your stability. Notice that when the balance is lost, it's because the toes lift up off the ground. So imagine that standing foot is being supported by an entire root system that is part of an entire community. And once you find that stability, rest in it. Go ahead and release on an exhale, dropping that foot down, and please shake those legs out. They've just supported you so well. All right. Let's change the chair around again. The other side. And we're going to do the tightrope on this side here. So my left foot is right in line with my right foot. Left heel, right toe. I'm going to flex my knees just a little to make sure I get those active feet, active legs, I mean. So pushing the floor away from you. Feel those active legs. Toes are grounded. Rest in the balance of it. It's not easy. It's just practice. You can do this. Take a deep breath. If you lose your balance, that's okay. Flex the knees again and push that earth away from the body. You're doing wonderfully. The chair is there to help you. If you want to keep a hand on the chair, do it like the ballerinas, only 2 fingers. We're not slumping over, okay? And go ahead and release. Let it go. Shake the legs out. Okay. We're going to come into our tree pose. So find mountain, that immovable stability. Feel the back of the knuckles of the feet, of the toes on the earth. Really feel them grounded. When you feel like you've got the balance, shift the leg onto the standing, shift the weight onto the standing leg and bring that leg into the arch. Check in that you're not sitting in the hip, and then lift the foot, resting it on the calf. Bring the hands to heart. You can keep one hand on the chair just in case. It would seem that everybody is a little bit better on this leg, like you have more balance on one side than the other. It's pretty common. Just breathe into it. One more long inhale and exhale here. You can do it. And then release the hands and leg down. Shake the legs out. Okay. Before we come into chair pose, let's just face our chair. We just did a lot of strengthening in the legs. So we want to be able to lengthen the back of the legs before we do anything else. So placing the hands on the back of the chair, I'm just going to walk my legs back and really feel that lengthening behind the knee and the calf. You should feel this oppositional pull from the crown of the head to the coccyx. And make sure your head isn't droopy like this. Really keep that arrow of a back, like you've got an arrow that goes through the crown of your head, through the middle of the body. And then feel free to play with this just a little bit. Flex that right leg and notice the difference in sensation. And straighten it. And flex the left leg and notice the difference. And straighten it. And waggle your tail just a little. And get that loosened up there. All that lumbar. And on an inhale, raise the gaze to look at the back of the chair. And then slowly walk those feet into the chair to come to standing. Go ahead and come to the front of the chair now. And we're going to pretend to sit 3 times. Okay? I'm gonna allow, you guys can add another element if you'd like, where we can continue with our balance. Inhaling, rising up on the toes, and exhaling, flexing those elbows in towards the rib cage as we reach the sits bones for the chair. Inhaling up, hands above the head, rising up on the balls of the foot. And exhale. You don't have to do that part. If it doesn't feel good for you, then just skip it. And up, inhale. And exhale. Last time, up. And exhale, reach those sits bones for the chair. And sit down like ladies and gents of the court. All right. So far so good, huh? We're gonna do the strengthening of the pelvis, our favorite practice. And then I'll turn your mics on and you can tell me what else you'd like me to weave into the last part of today's practice, okay? So keeping the feet firmly placed on the ground here, holding on to the sides of the chair. We are going to push those heels into the ground. On an inhale, lift the pelvis, and even if we get 1 centimeter off the chair, as we lift that pelvis up towards the ceiling, keeping the chin glued to the sternum, and then exhale, roll back down and through to sit on the chair, okay? We got 3 more times to do it. Do it at your own pace. I see Barbara shaking the hands. That probably hurts your wrists a little bit, huh? Okay, you can do some circles with the wrists. All right, and if 3 is too much, just listen to your own body. If you only do 1 more, that is 1 more than you did yesterday. Okay, so holding on to the chair and inhaling that pelvis up towards the ceiling. And exhale, come down. If you don't want to do it anymore, just, I would say, practice lengthening the hands. You can do any of the hand exercises that we've done before. Just have 2 more for those who want to do it. Up towards the ceiling. Okay, once you've done your 2, go ahead and shake out those hands. Reach the hands out in front of you like you're pushing the wall away from you, flexing the fingers towards the elbows, and then flex those fingers down to the earth, sitting up nice and tall, squeezing the belly button back towards the spine. Inhale those fingers up. And exhale those fingers down. Inhale up. And exhale down. All right. Some other things that I have in mind of weaving in are our lateral reachings and a spine twist. But as always, I want to hear from you. So is there anything else that you'd like me to work on today, weave into the practice today? Side reachings, yeah, spine, anything else? Wow, I must be doing my job okay today. All right, so let's place our feet firmly on the ground. Again, this can be a core exercise if we want it to. Squeeze that belly button back towards the spine. And we're going to start by reaching across the body. Right arm reaches across the left and swivels around and drops it down. And vice versa here. Left arm reaches across the right body and comes over and comes down. You can make it like something of a Tai Chi or something like that. Imagine the body moving and cutting through the space. You're cutting through the space. You're serving it up. You're letting it go. Last time on either side, then we'll shift directions. Okay, we're going to do down and up. So Pam, be careful with your arm if you're still having some tension there in your shoulder. Yeah, I remember. So be careful with this one. If it doesn't feel good to go up, go side to side or down to the side, perhaps, or something like that. Okay, so reaching across the body and down. Inhale as we raise that hand, following the gaze, coming down, down and across, and up, following the hand with the gaze, letting it fall, down, and up, down, and up. And last time on the other side, down, and up, and down, and up. All right, let's shake out the arms. We're gonna bring them in and cross the right arm over left. Reach your fingertips for your shoulder blades, or just your shoulders, whichever you can feel. Walk those fingers back and really give yourself a little hug. Let this be a bear hug where you move ever so slightly from side to side, softly, breathing into it. And then dropping the arms down. I'm going to bring them out, and now left arm on top. Give yourself a nice hug. Reach back. Reach those fingers for the back of the shoulders, and allow there to be a little swivel there as you give yourself a big bear hug. And then dropping the arms. Shake it out. We're going to do a twist of the spine. So sitting up nice and tall, you're welcome to use something in between the knees if you'd like. You don't have to, but it helps us anchor the body a little better. So I'm just going to use a folded up scarf. You could use a pillow or anything like that. Sitting up nice and tall, activating the core here. Squeezing our pillow with our knees. Let's take the back of the left palm and place it on the outside of the right thigh. And use that to create a leverage in the twisting of the torso. Raising that right arm up to the sky. And exhale, let it fall back behind you. Swiveling the chin to reach for the right shoulder. Being sure to sit up nice and tall, even in this twist. Just close your eyes and notice the way the air enters and exits the nostrils. One more long inhale here. And then as you exhale all the air, let your next inhale swivel the head to center. And exhale, unravel the twist. You can roll your shoulders just a little bit. And then when you're ready, move on to the other side. Again, first checking in with the core, sitting up nice and tall, active legs. Take the back of my right palm, place it on the outside of my left thigh. Use that to create leverage to the torso, the side wall. And when you're ready, inhale the left arm up to the ceiling. The big exhale, let the arm fall back behind you wherever it may go. The chin is reaching out over the left shoulder. And we're sitting up nice and tall. Just close your eyes and notice the way the breath enters and exits the nostrils. One more inhale and exhale here. And on your next inhale, let that inhale bring the head back to center. And then exhale, unravel the twist. Let the body move in any way that's calling you to move. And then we'll go ahead and settle into our chairs as we drift into the relaxation part of today. If you'd like to find a spot on the ground, that's okay too. Just lying down and feeling the support of the earth, whether you're in the chair or on the ground. Turn your attention inward, noticing the subtle shifts and changes in the body and the mind and the spirit and the heart. The rise and fall of the breath. And as you lengthen that breath, soften the jaw and the eyes. Visualize a light emanating from the center of the chest. Let that light be any color you so choose. Notice the way that with each inhale, the light expands outward, growing to encompass the entire body. And each and every place that light touches simply lets loose as you sink deeper into this profound sense of understanding, this knowing, this isness of the now. Let that light kiss the vital organs that keep you thriving. And everywhere it touches, simply lets loose, releasing any residual tension. As you drift deeper, noticing the way the light travels down the legs and mingles in between all of the articulations. Each and every tendon, ligament, muscle, and nerve ending. Simply let loose. As you take refuge in this heart space that is always available to you. In this silence and in this stillness, notice that which is never changing. This awareness, the conscious self that bears witness to the impermanence of all. Let this be your medicine. Let this be your practice. Place you can return to over and over again. And with this renewed lightness in the body, in the mind, in the spirit, begin wiggling the toes, and the hands, and the head. As you reintegrate into the world of form, to close today's practice, I'll sing Brahmadasa mantra, and you are welcome to join with me or simply relax in the vibrational sound of my voice. Brahmadasa Sa se so hum. May you carry today's practice with you through your day, through your week, and through your life. Thank you for coming to practice with me each Monday. Satnam. Namaste. Little by little, make your way back into a seated position if you chose to relax on the floor.